Attention, Commanders fans. Did you know that one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL could be the key to taking down the Ravens' fierce defense? We're talking about a potential heavy load in the backfield, with a veteran ready to step up in one of the toughest matchups of the season. If Robinson isn't at 100%, the pressure is on the new star signing. And what about the quarterback, who was literally cut and re-signed in less than 24 hours? That move left a lot of people scratching their heads. How can a young passer go from the brink of being out to being a crucial piece for the future? There's a lot more behind this decision, and we're going to spill the beans in just a moment. So don't go anywhere and hit that subscribe button, because this roller coaster is just getting started. Finally, changes are coming that the coaching staff must make if they want to survive the Ravens' offensive monster. Did you know the team still hasn't generated a single interception this season? That has to change, and fast. The strategy for this game could define whether the Commanders stay on top or crash and burn. Don't leave yet, because this news is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about this team. Alright, let's get straight to the point. Austin Ekeler is gearing up to carry the load for the Washington Commanders. And folks, this isn't just any situation. No, this is serious. Why? Because the injury situation is starting to make noise right when stability is needed the most. I ask you, how did we get to this point? Let's take a closer look. Brian Robinson Jr., who had been a key player in the first 3 games of the season, hasn't stepped on the practice field all week. Yeah, they took it easy on him last time against the Browns, but not practicing all week? That raises alarms. I'm telling you, even if Robinson is on the field this weekend against the Ravens, don't expect to see him at his best. And that, my friends, is a big problem. Now, here comes Austin Ekeler, and I ask you, wasn't this exactly why they signed him? Of course, this guy isn't a rookie. He's not someone who shrinks when the lights are shining bright. And trust me, this week in Baltimore, the lights are going to be shining bright. It's time for Ekeler to show why he was considered one of the top dual threats in the league. But wait, don't think this is going to be easy. The Ravens are among the best at defending the run, allowing only 60.4 rushing yards per game. That means opportunities for big plays will be few and far between. So I ask you, what do the Commanders need to do? They can't abandon the run. They can't become predictable. Keeping the Ravens honest is crucial. Here's the deal, friends. Ekeler hasn't had a prominent role in the first 5 games with only 19 carries, but with Robinson banged up, that number is going to go up. And Jaden Daniels, our young quarterback, is going to need Ekeler at his best. This is a big test for a player who came in with a different role, more focused on the passing game, but now has to become the centerpiece in the backfield. And keep an eye on Jeremy McNichols too. He's shown flashes in the past few weeks, but let's be real. We all know that when the game is on the line, Ekeler is going to be the man. I think this is the kind of game that could define a player's season. Are the Commanders being too cautious with Robinson? Possibly. But I'll tell you this, if there's any doubt about his health, they need to hold him out. It's an important game, sure, but the season is long, and we'll need Robinson when those critical moments come in December. And this, friends, is where Ekeler has to prove his worth. Now I ask you, are the Commanders ready to take the risk with Ekeler carrying the load? Can he reclaim that explosive version we saw in Los Angeles? Because, folks, the time for experiments is over. This is the moment. In conclusion, this is the game where we'll see if the signing of Austin Ekeler was a wise decision or a shot in the dark. This is the time that can change the narrative of the season for the Commanders. And I'll tell you one thing. If the Commanders want any chance against the Ravens, Ekeler is going to have to be the hero. Let's cut to the chase, folks. No more wasting time. Sam Hartman cut and re-signed by the Commanders in just 24 hours. Yeah, you heard that right. A real roller coaster ride. Now I ask you, what's going on in Washington? What logic is behind this decision? I think there's more to it than meets the eye. Look, Sam Hartman, undrafted, a guy who showed what he's got in preseason. They cut him and then bring him back to the practice squad. Now, it's not like practice squads are a bad thing, but the guy went from being on the main roster, with the whole future ahead of him, to a backup option in the blink of an eye. I'm telling you, the Commanders are playing a card that, honestly, has me intrigued. And while Sam Hartman navigates this uncertainty, Jaden Daniels is shining on the field. Yes, sir, the rookie nobody thought would break out this fast. Second-round draft pick, 5 games played, 4 straight wins, and the guy is throwing with a crazy 77.1% accuracy. That's insane. Total madness. Now I ask you, who in their right mind thought this rookie would be performing at this level? Not me, but here he is, making history. And of course, he's being compared to CJ Stroud because Daniels is following those exact footsteps. But it's not all about Daniels. Terry McLaurin, the silent star of this team, has been a rock on offense. 23 receptions, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is anyone else seeing how incredible this guy is? Because I'm telling you, without McLaurin, the story would be different. And let's not forget Brian Robinson, running like a bull with 325 yards on just 73 carries, 5 touchdowns. This guy is a machine. Now, with all this in mind, I ask you, what are the Commanders going to do facing the Ravens next week? That's going to be the real test. Because make no mistake, beating the Ravens in Baltimore is no easy task, folks. This is where we'll see if this team is really ready for the big leagues. And back to Hartman. What's the plan here? Are they thinking about the future? Because I'm telling you, if something happens to Mariota or even to Daniels, Hartman could be the wild card nobody saw coming. But is that really what the Commanders are hoping for? Or are they just winging it? I want to be clear. I'm not saying Hartman is the answer, but this move makes me think Washington has its doubts. Because if you trust 100% in Daniels and Mariota, why keep Hartman around? It's like having an ace up your sleeve, but not wanting to show it. I'm telling you this, in the NFL, there's always a hidden plan. Hey, Washington Commanders fans, what's coming in Week 6 against the Ravens is going to be an epic battle. And if you think I'm exaggerating, let me tell you something. I'm telling you this. This game is going to be the real litmus test for our team, and if we don't make some adjustments, we could be in real trouble. Now let me ask you, are we really ready to go up against what many consider the best team in the league? Because let's be honest, the Ravens are no joke. First off, Washington has got to start using its tight ends better. What's going on here? We've got Zach Ertz, we've got rookie Ben Sinnott, and how many receptions do they have? Only 19 in 5 weeks. If we're going to beat Baltimore, these guys need to be more involved in the passing game. Because if we're just relying on Jaden Daniels in the run game, trust me, it's going to be a long day in Baltimore. I'm telling you this, if the tight ends don't start getting into the mix as receivers, our chances of winning drop significantly. And speaking of chances, let me ask you a question. How is it possible that Washington doesn't have a single interception in 5 weeks? Not one. That needs to change now. We can't keep depending on Daniels and the offense to bail us out every game. Yeah, he's been impressive so far, but what if he makes mistakes? What if the offense isn't firing on all cylinders? The defense has to step up, and that starts with creating more turnovers. How is it that we've only got 3 takeaways in 5 weeks? That's not sustainable if we want to compete with top-tier teams like the Ravens. Now don't get me wrong, we've shown some signs of life. Last week, we forced a few turnovers against the Browns, but folks, Deshaun Watson is not Lamar Jackson. Lamar is a beast. He's got 9 touchdowns and just 1 pick this season. I'm telling you this. If we're not creative with our defensive schemes and don't force Jackson to be a pure pocket passer, he's going to tear us apart. That's for sure. Lastly, watch out for explosive plays. Let me ask you, do you think we can win if we let the Ravens destroy us with deep passes or 40-yard runs? Because if there's one thing both of these teams have in common, it's their ability to pull off big plays. Washington's secondary has been, let's just say, a bit inconsistent. Mike Sainristil, the rookie out of Michigan, is starting to find his groove, but we need more from him. I'm telling you this, if we don't limit the Ravens' explosive plays, they're going to crush us. And I also want to see more from Jeremy Chin. Yeah, he's great near the line of scrimmage. But if Witt Jr., our defensive coordinator, wants to be considered for a head coaching gig, he's got to turn Chin into a better pass defender. We've got to shut down those passing plays that have hurt us so much. Now, let me ask you, do you think these Commanders are ready to go toe-to-toe with the best? Because I think if we can limit the big plays and create a few turnovers, we might just walk out of Baltimore with a win that makes a statement. It would be the ultimate message that this team is on the rise. Washington Commanders fans, I've got a question for you that you can't ignore. Can Jaden Daniels keep this level of play throughout the entire season, or do you think those rookie mistakes might show up at some point? I want to read your thoughts in the comments. This season is looking really promising, but we know that every game is going to be another test. Come on, don't stay quiet. Let's talk about our Commanders. Do you really think this team has what it takes to stay on top of the NFC East? We know they're in a great position with a 4-1 record, but facing that Ravens defense is going to be a challenge. Share your thoughts. This is the time when true fans show their knowledge and passion for the team. And finally, what urgent changes do you think are needed to secure the win against the Ravens? It won't be easy, but we're here to break down every play and support our guys. I want to see those answers in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. Here, we're all part of this community, one big family that lives and breathes the Commanders' colors. So if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and be part of this amazing family that follows every step of the team. Together, we'll celebrate the wins and face the challenges. Remember, your voice is essential here. And remember, hail to the Redskins.